And here it sits. Finally got it into the garage. Finally got it parked where I want it. Quite a bit of room on the outside here. Give me some room to tear it all apart and go at it with that. So here we are with Rocket 2, soon to be dismantled. And what I really like about this is when I was taking apart Rocket 1, the Black Grand Prix, for the first time, I made mistakes. I mean, I honestly did. There were some steps that I did out of order or whatever, and it made it really difficult to chop the video up in a way that would make it still sound like, it made sense. Plus, there were some screws that broke, particularly with the front bumper. These screws in here just snapped right off. So when I was doing it the third time around, it's kind of hard to say, oh, by the way, there are 2 screws in here. You can't see them, but they're there. Also, a learning experience to be able to take it apart first 3 times and be able to know exactly what I need to do, what I need to watch out for, and do it right. So I have had some interest in parts that are on this car. I had somebody message me and ask me about the body. So here's the deal, okay? This car is going to make for some excellent videos for people out there who own these Grand Prix. Now, I have to admit that they are going into the scrapyard more and more these days. People are working on them less and less. They all have at least 100,000 miles. Sure, there's some out there who don't have 100,000 miles on them. Some that are very well kept. I get it. I understand. But the majority of these Grand Prix, they are pretty much either already to the scrapyard or just about there. And this is definitely one of those cars that was just about there. So I understand that not very many of you out there actually work on these anymore. You know, when it was something that was a newer vehicle, let's say 5 years old, they were coming off lease or people were selling them out of a loan. You know, they would have maybe right around 100,000 miles, and, you know, small things here and there would break, would fail. So more people would take matters into their own hands, and they would obviously repair the things that could be repaired. But you can only do that for so long. A major mechanical failure would be the engine or transmission. And at that point, it's like, why not just give up on it? You're going to spend a lot of money to fix a transmission. You're going to spend a lot of money to replace an engine. So who cares that the HVAC system doesn't work properly? And I have a video on how to fix it. You know, who cares that the temperature system or temperature sensor on the inside is all clogged up with dust? Because you're going to get rid of the car anyways. So basically what I'm saying is that the videos that I do on this car, they will be interesting to some, but they're not going to be necessities anymore to most. Most of you who watched my videos from 3 to 4 years ago have already gotten rid of your Grand Prix long ago. So, with that in mind, basically, this is going to be a fun project for me and any of you out there who maybe got lucky and got a really good condition Grand Prix. Maybe some grandma was driving it, or some guy had it in his garage, or something else like that, and you want to keep it around. Front-wheel drive V8. That's not a North Star. Maybe in that situation, these videos will be helpful. Or maybe just maybe, you're in the same spot that I am. You've got a Grand Prix that's sitting, out in your driveway, and you don't have any experience on, maybe possibly fixing it up. Maybe the motor's gone, things like that. Maybe this will be interesting to you. Maybe these videos will help you and say, okay, well, I like the car, so I'm going to put some money into it. I was too afraid to do it before, but these videos have helped, so I'm going to, do it. Maybe. I don't know. But, again, this is mainly for myself. I'll do the videos. I'll show you guys what it's all about. Maybe I'll do some live streaming. I will take you through all of it. And maybe it'll help one of you. Maybe it won't help any of you. But it's what I'm going to do. So, with that in mind, I did have somebody ask me about the body. When I pull the motor and tranny out, what am I going to do with the body? And that's a good question. I am going to keep the wheels and tires. And here's why. The Dale Earnhardt wheels that are on my black car are absolutely terrible. They've corroded to the point where they don't hold air anymore. And the last time that I had them at the tire shop, they pretty much said that they were damaged beyond repair. Of course, I could pay a specialized wheel shop to basically grind them all down and refinish them, but why would I spend $1,000 doing something like that and then another $500-$600 on tires? These wheels here, they're not in perfect shape. I know that. They need to be cleaned up really well. And they can be plasti dipped. And I'm not talking about a matte finish. I think, personally, this is just my opinion, okay? This is no reflection on what you've done with your car or anything else like that. This is just my opinion. I do not like the matte finish on a plasti dip car. It looks like it's something that you just put together real quick. Just kind of a cheap kind of mod that you can do to your car to black out your wheels. I like the shiny look, whether it be this style or black. I like the black shiny. The Dale Earnhardt wheels that I have on my other Grand Prix are shiny black. I like that. I do. It has much more of a fit and finish to it than a matte black. Not saying that matte black is bad, but everybody has their own preference. My preference is to have a shiny black wheel. So these wheels can be restored. Not to perfect condition, but unless you've got your face in the wheel, you're not really going to know. So that's the plan. I'm going to keep the wheels and tires. Those tires are almost brand new. I mean, literally, just about brand new. I think they got probably about 500 miles on them. Maybe less. This car sat for a little while. So it got dirty and things like that. It needs a good clean, whatever. But there are some parts that I will be taking off of the car. Some parts that I want to keep. And who knows, there might be other parts inside that I want to keep as well. But, if I'm to give up the entire body, which would basically include everything inside, I would want a good price for it. Understandably that, it doesn't have a motor or tranny, but the body is in excellent condition. There's normal scratches. What do you expect? Something like this can be buffed out. And I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that. And of the entire car, the only part that I noticed that had any rust on it is right here, in this very spot right here. That's it. Of the whole car. It's the only spot that has any kind of rust on it. I'm starting to wonder if this is a real common thing here, because my Grand Prix has the exact same thing. But I really like the color. Man, I love this color. I really do. It's really hard for me to walk away from this because I like the color, but I like the black as well. I wish that I could keep both. I really do. I wish that I could keep both of these cars. I want to. But it's not in the cards right now. So the body's going to go. But there might be some parts that I'm going to want to take off the body. So if you really are truly interested in getting the body, you're going to have to let me know what your requirements are for actually taking the body. I would swap the wheels so we could still roll it. So it's not like it's going to be on jack stands and it's going to have to be carried out. I'll put the wheels from my Grand Prix on it, and that way it can be rolled out. Yeah, if you're really truly interested, just get a hold of me, message me, and I can entertain whatever that offer is. But I know the engine and transmission are coming out. Haven't decided whether or not I want to drop the tranny back in and sell it as a whole. So, I mean, the cores on the MN7, which was exclusive to the LS4 tranny, are not cheap, and they're hard to find, and I know this. So, even a bad tranny with a core can still be $300-$400. So, with all that in mind, basically, if you really wanted the entire body, hood, all that other stuff, just make an offer. But I can tell you this, I am going to be tearing it apart. Because the motor is coming out, that means that all this stuff is going to come off. And if you're going to take the whole body, I'm not going to go to all the trouble of putting everything all back together just to roll it on a trailer. Unless you were interested in paying some extra for it, for that kind of labor. So, there you have it. Anyways. So, yeah. This is going to start, this project here is going to start within the next couple of weeks. I have a lot of work. Those of you who follow both of my channels know that I have two, actually basically three jobs. So this is a spare time kind of project. I'm hoping to work on it all winter. The goal is to get this thing apart and the LS4 on an engine stand. When I do that, then the car can be rolled back out. So sometime over the winter, this motor will be out on an engine stand and the car can be rolled back out. And then my Pontiac, my black car, will be rolled in. Now from there, perfectly good rebuildable LS4 out of the black car, if you're interested. You know, a couple $100, nothing too serious. And you could even pair it up with this tranny if you wanted to rebuild it as a set. So anyways, yeah, the videos will be coming within the next few weeks. I really like this tint. It's not that cheap. You can tell a company actually put this on. Sometimes I'll see some cars where they'll be bubbling and it just looks like something you got at Walmart and it's terrible. But it looks like a professional company actually did this tint, which is good. Unfortunately, here in Michigan, tint is not legal for the front windows unless you have a doctor's note. And even with a doctor's note, you do get harassed by cops who will pull you over anyways because they don't know whether or not you have a doctor's note. And it just sets you up for, you know, basically inconvenience. Not something they would notice really at night. But you're driving around with the windows up during the day, especially in the wintertime when you got the heat on, they'll notice. They definitely will. My sister had a Grand Am, a white Grand Am, that had tinted windows that the previous owner had put on. She bought it from a dealer. And within a couple of weeks, she was pulled over on the highway, and she was told and written a fix-it ticket to take the tint off the front windows. And it left a terrible film over it. And I tried to help her clean it up, and it was just terrible. So, yeah, I really would rather not have to deal with that. But, who knows, maybe I can go to the eye doctor and get one of those doctor's notes. Apparently, these days they just hand them out. So we'll have to see. But anyways, I can understand why cops don't like it. It's harder to see in your vehicle. But for me, if I've ever been pulled over, I roll all my windows down, even in the dead of winter. You don't want to get an officer uneasy. So anyways, there you have it. This car is basically ready to be taken apart. And the great thing is because I know exactly step by step how to get this motor out through the top. Yes, it's coming out the top. I'm not going to drop the cradle because it's coming out the top. I know exactly what I'm doing. Because I can do a step by step, it'll make things a lot easier. Then you guys can watch. And if you're interested someday in doing something like this, you got a Grand Prix parked out in your grass or your driveway that hasn't been driven, and this looks like something you want to take on, great. You know, that'd be awesome. So anyway, yeah, so be looking for this in the next couple of weeks. You know, it's been suggested to me that even if this motor was rebuilt 30K, 35K ago, even if, people have basically suggested that I go ahead and rebuild the top end anyway, because you don't know what the mechanic used. If they used a old Vlam and not the new one, if they reused the Vlam, that's pretty bad. If they just use standard lifters that have, the problems. And, you just never know. Even though it runs really good now, you just never know. So it's been suggested that I spend the $500 or $600 and pull the top end off, replace the lifters, make sure it's got the new Vlam, and then I know that the motor is good. It's got good compression. I know that. So I guess, I don't know. I was really hoping to be able to swap this out with as little money as possible. But to be honest, the thing that concerns me the most is I get it, in, drive it for a couple of months, and then I have a problem again. So it might be a good idea to do that. I know the tranny in my black car is absolutely solid. I know that. So it'll be nice to pair up a known good motor. So we'll have to see. Anyway, 17, almost 18 minutes. Be looking for some videos on this channel. Infrequent as they will be, they will be there. And sometime over the winter, I will have this motor out. And if anyone is really, really interested in buying the car as a whole without the motor, then, let me know. And we can work something out. But I know for sure the wheels are going. I know for sure the motor and tranny are going. So, be kind of up to you. Everything works in the car. Everything. Even the air conditioning works. To my surprise. Everything works perfectly. It's got some rubbing there where elbows are. It's not perfect, but it's got almost 200,000 on it. So I would not expect it to be perfect. It's perfect for me. That's what I need. So, there you have it. Any questions, let me know. If you're serious about this, then just let me know. And I do think I figured out why there was water coming in right there. The outer seal on the sunroof, it's not totally locked down. You can see where it's coming up right there. I think water is just sliding in there. And no one ever bothered to fix it. So the headliner obviously is going to need to be cleaned. Wholesale junk. One man's junk. Anyway. Alright guys. Thanks again for your support through the years. I've had this channel going for 10 years now. Mainly focusing on my Grand Prix, my GTP, my Comp G. Kept a little souvenir of the Comp G over there. As well as the GXP. Did a little renewable energy stuff. But appreciate all the support over the years. And I'm looking forward to another good project. A lot of fun. And I really want to get my car back on the road. Some people call me crazy. Some people say I'm stupid. That's typical internet stuff. But as far as spending as much time with this car as I have, I'm telling you, sometimes there are just cars out there that people really like. And if you've ever seen Columbo, you'll know he's got that car that just doesn't make any sense, but he loves it. I feel the same way about this car. There's something about the way that it sounds, the way that it drives, the way that it looks, the way that it rides. There's just something about it. It's not ideal. It's not super fast. There are 4-banger Toyotas out there now that can keep up with this without a problem. But it won't have the character. It won't have the personality. It won't have what I want. If I'm looking for true raw speed, I would get something like a G8 GT and work on that, which is much faster than this thing. You know, there's some things you can do to give it more pep, but I don't think I'm really interested in that. So, somebody's at my door. Oh, just the rain. All right, guys. Thanks again for your support, and take care.